Hi there, Jim here. So today I'm going to do an unboxing and a review of this mini heat gun, and this is distributed by a company called Kaiweets. They distribute a variety of products for electronic hobbyists, and I received this product as part of the Amazon Vine program. Amazon gives me this product for free as long as I perform a review of the product. So the box is pretty simple, a little bit of information on the specifications down here. There's 2 temperature settings, 2 airflow settings, and well, I guess it'll run it pretty close to any power. So I'll open it up, and packaging probably pretty simple. Okay, what do we got? Well, that's everything that was in the box, so we don't need the box anymore. We have a somewhat scrunched up user manual for the heat gun. Well, not sure I would call this a heat gun, but anyways, heating unit. And we have here a clip-on reflector. This is used when you're dealing with heat shrink, if you want to make sure, or whatever you're heating, but you want to make sure the heat is getting to all the sides. It is wrapped in plastic. As you can see, it's a pretty simple device. It's actually, in fact, it's made for 110 volts. It's listed there. There's a power switch here on level 1, level 2, and I guess that's the only thing you control. Level 1, level 2, and of course that's where the hot air is going to come out, and it's going to get pretty hot. And there's a stand here so that you can keep the end from touching the surface, which is usually a good idea. So let's plug this in. This only uses a 2-prong cord. We have lots of outlets for that. Now, before this doesn't want to come off that easily. There we go. Okay, now this reflector, oh, I see. So there's a rim here. So this will just fit on like that. And it sort of can slide to the appropriate spot, but that's about it. And what I will say is that that's on pretty snugly. I have another heat gun, more of a gun style, and this deflector, it pops off every 5 seconds, making it kind of useless. So I like how that's snug, and of course you can, if you don't like the angle, you can adjust this. This rotates because it's all round. So, okay, we'll make sure it doesn't do that before we start. Now, one thing I have to say is if you've ever used or never used, maybe more importantly, a unit like this, these things produce a lot of heat. And when I say a lot of heat, I'm not joking. You have to be kind of careful what you point them at, because they'll melt almost anything. So this is plugged in now. Let's hear what setting 1 sounds like. Let's take the reflector off for a second. Okay, so that's level 1. That's producing heat up to 250 Celsius. And I can hold my hand there. That feels warm. starting to feel hot. That's level 2. I can't really hold my hand there for very long. That's supposed to be producing 450 Celsius heat, 800 degrees Fahrenheit. And if we look at this unit, trying not to burn the camera, we can see it's emitting quite the orange glow on level 2. And that's level 1, a much less intense glow. Okay, so I'm going to stop that. And now what we want to do, there's not a whole heck of a lot of that I'm going to do. I'm not going to try to desolder anything with this. I wouldn't really, the airflow here is probably not concentrated enough for desoldering. But you know, if you want to, it's up to you. But I think that this is sort of an ideal device for heat shrink tubing. So I'm going to grab a little bit of wire, a little bit of heat shrink tubing, and we'll put the reflector on, and we'll see how that works. Okay, so I've got some 14 gauge solid core wire, so not stranded. I've got a chunk of yellow heat shrink tubing, and I'm going to put that on, and I'm just going to put it on anywhere here because we just want to see what happens. I want to see how well this works. Now, because I want to be able to have both hands free, I want to be able to lay this down or keep it sitting on the tabletop, and I want to be able to insert this like this, and we want to see what's going to happen. I'm just going to adjust the camera a little bit to zoom in there. Okay, so all right, so that should give us a good sense of how well this is working, and hopefully I will not burn my hands as I hold on to the wire. So now let's start this up, and I'm going to do this on low power, and if that doesn't work out too well, we'll do it again on high power. See how that goes. Okay, so it's going now. So now I'm going to put the tubing in here. You can see that that shrinks up kind of immediately, and it's shrunk up all the way around. I didn't have to turn the wire around or anything. So it made pretty quick work of that. Now, this, of course, because the size was, was much too large for the wire, the tubing is still, sliding all over the place. What I'll do, but the objective was not to demonstrate my ability to choose the right size of heat shrink tubing. The objective was to show how quickly it works, and it does work quite quickly at the low power setting and with the reflector on. What I'll do is I'll find a better size tubing, and we'll do that again, and this time we'll do it on high power. One more time. All right, so we've got the wire. I've got some more tubing here. Last time it was 4mm tubing. This is 2mm tubing, so it's half the size. And of course that slides on pretty well. This, when it shrinks, is probably not going to move. So let's put it right about there. Now I can turn it on. Now most of the time, probably you're going to use it as high power, just like this, because probably like me, you're not very patient. So let's go to, it's good to know that it'll do it on low power, but let's go to high power. All right, so now you can hear it blowing, high power. We're now going to slide it in, and pay quick attention, because it's probably going to shrink pretty quickly. Yep. Of course, that's done. very fast. And of course now that's not moving at all. I mean, like probably. Anyways, so there you go. That was the Kaiweets, Kaiweets KEH01 mini heat gun. It's quite effective, especially for heat shrink tubing. It would be nice if it had more of a stand, so you can maybe hold it up. Oops, let's zoom out. Maybe hold it up like this when working, as opposed to having to rest it like that. But you know, I have to say that that's not so terrible. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with this little heat gun. It's a nice compact unit, and if what you're doing is heat shrink tubing, which I think a lot of people do, it's very convenient to have a small unit like this, as opposed to having to haul out a massive unit. And the temperature, both at the low and high settings, is more than sufficient for the heat shrink tubing, and the reflector stays on, which is fantastic. Like I said, on my other heat gun, that reflector pops off every 5 seconds, and it's a pain to put it back on because, of course, it's pretty hot. So if you like these videos, please subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.